Hi, greetings. At Denver Law, as with all law schools, we are given more and more attention to assessment these days. The university expects more of us. The ABA expects more of us. Expects is kind of a nice way to put it, right? We have adopted the wisdom that we believe that assessment shouldn't be one overall study that tries to comprehensively look at everything that we do. Rather, we are going to focus on discrete parts of our JD program. We're going to do a series of projects looking at where learning goes on at our law school. Think of it this way. This is our JD program. We're not going to assess the whole thing. We'll look at 6. Next year, we'll look at 6 more. The third year, we'll add 6 more. Over time, we are going to accumulate assessment and hopefully create a culture of assessment at our law school. These are the projects we are engaging in the current year. Some are direct, some are indirect. Many people don't like indirect assessment. I think it has a place along with direct assessment. This is the project that I'm going to talk about this afternoon. It's going on in the externship program. Assessment starts with student learning outcomes. Here are our 5. They're pretty good. I'm sure yours are good as well. The first 2 track cognitive, 3 and 4 track skills, 5 tracks professionalism and identity formation. That stuff's complicated. It is complex. It is very hard to measure, but that's what we're trying to do with this project. Hopefully, we teach this everywhere throughout our curriculum. One place where we know we teach identity formation is our externship program run by Ann Vessels. And she does really fine assessment there. Students doing an externship fill out a questionnaire before and after the externship. It has about 50 questions. 10 of them are identity formation questions. Here are the 10 items. Students rank themselves 1 to 5 on these 10 items. It's a pretty good list. Anne came up with it 10 years ago. She surveyed the literature. She came up with these 10. She's been using these 10 since then. So again, students rank themselves 1 to 5 on each of these. Then, how do I use this data? Okay, we sum the 10 scores. We divide by 10. We come up with a professional identity formation index that runs 1 to 5. Remember, we've got the data pre and post. I want to control on some factors, so I'm picking a particular cohort of people doing externships. I'm looking at students between their 2L and 3L year doing a summer 2014 externship. And then I'm just going to look at the pre and post scores to get started. So at the beginning, at the end. That's great. That's nice. It doesn't tell us a whole lot. What other factors might be important? One of the things I wanted to look at was experience. Especially, was this your first externship or had you done one prior? So what I did was I looked at, again, I'm using these students in the summer of 2014. And they may have taken, this might be their first, it might be their second, it might be their third. So I've got 3 groups now that I can look at. This is your first externship, it's your second, it's your third. And I look again at the pre and post measures on the professional formation. Oh, this is good. This is pretty cool. The post scores are similar for all 3 groups. It's the pre scores that differ. If you're in your third externship, you start out a lot higher than you do if you're in your first. I think that's pretty interesting. Okay, so the results so far. Post ratings are the same regardless of which externship you're in, first, second, or third. It's the pre ratings that matter. Can we trust these results? Are they reliable? Okay, I ran them with another cohort. I looked at the summer of 2015 students between their 2L and 3L year. And the results come out pretty good again. The post scores are high and similar. The pre scores are going up. This particular data point's a little out of place, but I'm a data person, that's okay. It looks to me like, generally speaking, we've got the same kind of thing going on. Let's call it the externship effect on professional identity formation. How does it operate? Well, think frame of reference when you answer those 10 questions as a student. So when you do the pre-rating, you're thinking of all of the things in law school that have brought you to this point. When you're doing the post-rating, you are looking back at the last 8 or 10 weeks. The effect we're getting is that these ratings pre are going to be higher if your experience to this point includes earlier externships. I want to test this more rigorously. I need more data. So what I'm currently doing is I'm looking at all the students who graduated last spring. 250 students, they did 360 externships. So I've got three groups. I've got the students who were doing their first, the students who were doing their second, and the students who were doing their third. I will look at their pre and post scores. I hope that what I find is the post scores are high across all three groups, and the pre scores go up with the number of externships that the student did. This fits into our general assessment project. If the effect is there, we can message to our students that externships are important and that you should try to do one early and maybe think about doing more. I like assessment. It's a big deal with law schools today. I hope that you'll contact me and we can talk about what's going on at your school as well. Thank you very much.